Okay, in the previous class we discussed about Speaker of Lok Sabha. Presiding officer we were discussing. So the presiding officer of Lok Sabha was Speaker. Okay. Then after Speaker we have a Deputy Speaker also. Deputy Speaker. Right. Speaker is elected by the member of Lok Sabha. Speaker is elected by the member of Lok Sabha among the member themselves. In the same way, Deputy Speaker is also elected by the member of Lok Sabha from the member among themselves. From the member among themselves. Same like a Speaker. But regarding the election, okay, regarding the election, it is the Speaker who will take care of the election, and it is the Speaker who will decide the election date for the Deputy Speaker. In case of Speaker President, in case of Deputy Speaker, the election and election date will be fixed by whom? Speaker. Understood? So Speaker is also elected by the member of Lok Sabha from the member among themselves. Even the Deputy Speaker is also elected by the member of Lok Sabha from the member among themselves. Okay, regarding the election, it will taken care by the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Okay, and what is the power function? Okay, and this one, functionality of the Deputy Speaker. So here, whenever the office of the Speaker, whenever the office of the Speaker falls vacant or Speaker is not available, Speaker is not available, okay, at that time Deputy Speaker will act as a Speaker. At that time Deputy Speaker will act as a Speaker. And here, whenever there is a vacancy in the seat of Deputy Speaker, at that time immediately the Lok Sabha will elect the Deputy Speaker. Same like a case of Speaker. Whenever there is a vacancy in the seat of Speaker, immediately Lok Sabha will elect the Speaker. In the same way, whenever there is a vacancy in the seat of Deputy Speaker, Lok Sabha will elect its Deputy Speaker. Okay. So what are the power function? As I mentioned, it does not have any specific power like a Speaker of Lok Sabha. Whenever the Speaker of Lok Sabha is not available, resigned, died, or unable to come due to health issue, illness, something, or resignation, at that time the Speaker will act as a the Deputy Speaker will act as a Speaker. Whenever the Deputy Speaker will act as a Speaker, okay, at that time Deputy Speaker is having a power of Speaker. Power of Speaker. At normal times, when Speaker is available, at normal times, Deputy Speaker does not have any power of the Speaker. He can vote in the first instance only. Okay, you are understanding? He is not a chairman of the parliamentary committee of a general purpose committee, rules committee. You are understanding? Business advisory committee. He is not. His power is just what? That whenever Speaker is not available, at that time Deputy Speaker will act as a Speaker. When Deputy Speaker is acting as a Speaker, at that time the Deputy Speaker will get the power of the Speaker. Either 1 day, half day, 2 day, 1 week also. He can act as a Speaker. Once it is normal, once Speaker came back, then the Deputy Speaker will be a normal member. He doesn't have any special power. Okay, but it is having one privilege for Deputy Speaker. What is that privilege? Whenever Deputy Speaker will be appointed as a member of any parliamentary committee, automatically he will become the chairman of that committee. Automatically he will become the chairman of that parliamentary committee of Lok Sabha, parliamentary committee of Lok Sabha. Okay, so that is special privilege is there. Except 3 committees. What are those? Business advisory committee, rules committee, general purpose committee. For these 3 committee, who is the chairman? Speaker is the chairman. And for other parliamentary committees, if the Deputy Speaker is appointed as a member of that committee, then automatically Deputy Speaker will become the chairman of that committee. Okay, next, until 10th Lok Sabha, Speaker and Deputy Speaker are both from ruling party. They are both from ruling party, no discrimination. Okay, so speaker also from ruling party and deputy speaker also from ruling party. Okay. Then from 11th Lok Sabha, they made a convention. Please, it is nowhere mentioned in the constitution that speaker should be from ruling party and deputy speaker should be from opposition party. It is nowhere mentioned in constitution. It is nowhere mentioned in any rules or procedure of the parliament. It is a parliamentary convention. It is a parliamentary convention that from 11th Lok Sabha onwards, speaker will be from the ruling party and deputy speaker will be from opposition party. They already asked question in prelims. So remember, it is nowhere mentioned in the parliament. It is nowhere mentioned in any rules or procedure. Okay, it is a parliamentary convention. Got it? Okay, so this is about deputy speaker. Then we have a panel of chairperson. In Lok Sabha, we have a panel of chairperson. So is it a constitutional post? No, there is no such constitutional post. Okay, then what it is? Right. So under the rules of Lok Sabha, presiding officer of the Lok Sabha. Who? Presiding officer. Who is the presiding officer of Lok Sabha? Speaker. Speaker will nominate not more than 10 members. Speaker will nominate not elected, remember. Speaker will nominate not more than 10 members from the member among themselves. That means from the member of Lok Sabha. Right. 10 members will be nominated. Okay. Not more than 10 members as a 10th chairperson. But why? What is the necessity? The reason is very simple. Okay. When speaker is not available, absence. And when deputy speaker is also not available, there is a possibility, probability, right? Speaker is also not available, deputy speaker is also not available. At that time, any member from this panel of 10 chairperson, any member will act as a speaker. And when they act as a speaker, they will get the power of speaker. Any one member. You're understanding? But remember, whenever there is a vacancy in the seat of speaker and deputy speaker, at that time they cannot be act as a speaker. If vacancy is there, resignation vacancy, no? Right? If vacancy is there means at that time Lok Sabha has to elect the speaker and deputy speaker. You're understanding? Okay? Anyway, if speaker vacancy is there, then deputy speaker will act as that one. Right? If both are not available, then they cannot, any person from this chairperson, they cannot act as a speaker. At that time, Lok Sabha has to conduct the election for the speaker. Okay, that is there. Then next thing, if none of the member, right, if speaker is not available, deputy speaker is not available, if this any member, maximum 10, minimum 1, if that is also not available, right, or when there is a vacancy in the seat of speaker and deputy speaker, at that time who will act as a speaker? At that time, okay, any member of Lok Sabha, okay, nominated by the president. Okay, so that person shall be act as a speaker. Okay, generally pro tem speaker is also there, that we will discuss. You're understanding? So whenever there is a vacancy in the seat of speaker or deputy speaker, member from this chairperson will not act. At that time, another member appointed by the president will act as a speaker. Understood? Okay, so that is there. Then next, pro tem speaker. Now who is pro tem speaker? Whenever a fresh Lok Sabha election conducted, at that time any new political party formed the government. Right, at that time they need to conduct the first session of the house. To conduct the first session of the house also they required a presiding officer. Right, but speaker election is not conducted. Right. At that time, president will nominate one member from the member of Lok Sabha as a speaker for temporary purpose. For temporary purpose. What is the temporary purpose? Lok Sabha session can be conducted, election can be conducted, and speaker can be elected. For that purpose only, for temporary purpose, president will president will appoint or nominate one person. That person also must be a member of Lok Sabha only as a pro tem speaker. One speaker elected, then pro tem speaker will be ceased to be operate. And there is a possibility that pro tem speaker also can be elected as a speaker. Pro tem speaker also can be elected as what? Speaker. Understood? So this is about the pro tem speaker. So in Lok Sabha presiding officer we discuss about speaker, then deputy speaker, then panel of chairperson, then pro tem speaker. Okay, now we will discuss about the chairman of Rajya Sabha. So here in short, here if you observe, whatever the powers we discuss, in case of speaker, same power it is with the chairman of Rajya Sabha. But there are certain differences are there. What are those? Who is the chairman of Rajya Sabha? Vice President. Vice President is an ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Okay, who will elect the Vice President or the chairman of Rajya Sabha? Both the member of Lok Sabha and the member of Rajya Sabha. Why? Because who will elect the Vice President? MP. But regarding the presiding officer of Lok Sabha, only Lok Sabha member. But regarding the presiding officer of Rajya Sabha, who will elect both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? And who will conduct the election for the chairman of Rajya Sabha? Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India. Differences I am discussing. Then next, the chairman of Rajya Sabha does not have a power to preside the joint session of the parliament. To preside joint session of the parliament. Only Lok Sabha speaker is having. You're understanding? And the chairman of Rajya Sabha does not have a power to decide whether a bill is money bill or not. Only speaker of Lok Sabha has that power. You're understanding? Okay. So that is about the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Same power. But he does not have a right to vote. Speaker has a right to vote in case of tie. But chairman of Rajya Sabha does not have a right to vote in case of tie. Why? Because he is not a member of Rajya Sabha. Chairman of Rajya Sabha is not a member of Rajya Sabha. That is the reason. He does not have a right to vote. You're understanding? So these are the difference between the presiding officer of Lok Sabha and presiding officer of Rajya Sabha. These differences are very, very important for prelims exam. Got it? Then next, we have a deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha. So who will elect them? Deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha? Member of Rajya Sabha from the member among themselves. Election date will be fixed by the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Okay, here the power and function of this deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha, what is that? In simple language, whenever the chairman is not available, at that time this deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha will be act as a chairman of Rajya Sabha. Same like a deputy speaker of Lok Sabha. Same power. That is there. Okay, but here one more difference is there. What is the difference? If speaker want to resign, speaker has to submit the resignation letter to deputy speaker. If deputy speaker want to resign, the deputy speaker has to submit the resignation letter to speaker. If the chairman of Rajya Sabha want to resign, he need to submit the resignation letter to president because he is a vice president. Okay. Then if deputy chairman want to resign, then deputy chairman has to submit the resignation letter to chairman, but not vice versa. That is the difference. Then same panel of vice chairperson. From the Rajya Sabha rule, the chairman of Rajya Sabha will nominate not more than 10 members in the vice chairperson. Whenever chairman and deputy chairman is not available, at that time any member from this panel will act as a chairperson. But here also same thing. What is that? In case of vacancy in the seat of chairman of Rajya Sabha and deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha, none of the member from this panel shall be act as a chairman. At that time, president will nominate such person. Understood? everyone. So this is about the, what is that, chairman of Rajya Sabha, deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha, and panel of vice chair person.